Good morning, Watcher of Realms. What's going on, guys? Blunt Guts here. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I truly appreciate it. I'm going to be going over everything that is going on in Watcher of Realms this week, and we're going to take a little retrospective because there are some lingering issues from last week as well, in particular regarding the hero Vorn that was released on Friday and the clusterfuck that ensued as a result of the actions of the developers. We're going to talk about that as well. And of course, I'm going to collect some rewards at the end of this video. We're going to see if I can't get a little bit lucky. Before I get to the news, please take a second and click that thumbs up button. It makes a massive difference for the visibility of the video. The more likes I get, the more eyeballs I get on the video. So thank you so much. It really does help me grow my channel. It's a free way you can support me, and it is always appreciated. Also, if you're not subscribed, feel free to click that subscribe button so you get notified every time I do post a new video. Thanks, y'all. Let's talk about what's going on in Watcher of Realms this week. So, as always, we are going to start off with the banners here. We've got one of the biggest, most anticipated banners in a long time coming out this week, which is, I think, honestly, pretty goddamn insulting to the player base as well. Sun Wukong is coming on Thursday. We've also got Yuri and Phineas coming on Friday. Does anybody have any summons left? Are your bank accounts empty yet? Because after a month straight of what seem like must-pull banners, they are yet again dropping more on us. And we're not even at the anniversary yet. The anniversary last year did start in mid-June, which means we're probably only about 2 weeks away from what should be the biggest pull time of the entire year. And yet, everybody's dry. And you know what? I gotta say, I am tired of it. I am saturated. I am full. I've had enough. There's really no other conclusion to draw at this point than they are essentially trying to drain your bank accounts. And I feel like that is concerning for a number of different reasons. One, it's just inconsiderate of the player base. They're treating everybody like a commodity. And let's be honest, you strip away everything, that is clearly what we are to them. They are farming us. But at the end of the day, I'd like just a little bit of an illusion that they actually care, rather than just looking at us as ATM machines. And I need them to stop clicking the withdrawal button, you know what I mean? I think what we're looking at is many of us that did pull are likely going to be going into the anniversary not having a lot of summons, and that's going to be, supposed to be a fun time. It's not going to be a fun time for a lot of folks, I think. But in any case, we do have Wukong coming. Wukong, if you don't have him on your account or you don't have an A5, really, you got to be pulling, in my opinion, at least for the base copy. But Wukong is one of the best heroes in the game. Certainly one of the best fighters in the game. I'd say the only one that really challenges him as far as single target damage is Kagiri. As far as the other banner, it is Phineas, it is Yuri. I think this is a decent banner, honestly. I mean, Yuri is really good in anti-air arena. She's a solid hero, not great for single target damage, but decent. I do think that there's going to be spots to use her in the future. I'd love to get a copy of Yuri. Yuri is one of the heroes that I don't have on my account yet. But given that we've been drained of all our resources over the last month, whether it was on the Malric banner or on the first Poisoner banner, the second Poisoner banner, now we've got Wukong coming, you know, like, and I could go on and on and on. There was a Twyla Hatset banner that came out that was really tempting as well. So I got nothing for you, Phineas and Yuri. Sorry, you guys are gonna have to wait. My Phineas is A1. Phineas is great in Abyss 1. But at the end of the day, I got nothing for you. Nothing. So we're gonna have to wait. So while we're talking about new heroes, I gotta talk about Vorn because this was a massive issue that I did bring up on Friday. Created a video, which many of you may have seen, where I talked about the developers making a substantive change to, at the very least, the perception of the way that this Mind of Hatred skill does work. Currently, it is a shield break, 30% increased shield damage for 2 allied fighter units. Originally, the skill description here did read that it was 2 allied units, period, meaning that you could theoretically use it on platform units. Their assertion is that it never worked that way, and they just updated the tooltip to be more accurate. I can say personally, my experience testing it on the test server, anecdotally, it did seem to me that I was getting the shield break ability on platform units. I can't prove that. I'm not going to go deep into it because ultimately it doesn't really matter, right? Because because they didn't make anybody aware of this until 4 hours after the banner was released. And they didn't even tell the community. They told the small group of content creators that do have test server access, and then encouraged us to put a pinned post to the top of our videos, many of which already had thousands and thousands of views on them, to alert the community that this change was taking place. It is a bait and switch, pure and simple. And their compensation that they gave us, 100 gems, was a slap in the face. Personally, I think this is abysmal. On average, it takes somewhere in the neighborhood of 600 summons to get one of the rate-up heroes when there are 2 rate-up heroes on a banner. If you look at the way that they've got rare summons priced in this game, you're talking about a value of $300 to $600 for this hero. And they gave us 100 gems for it, which is, what, 2.5 huge stamina potions, like 500 stamina. That is just abysmal. Now, thankfully, I didn't spend anything, but I know many of you did. And if I were you, I would be irate. I would be sounding off nonstop with their customer support. I would be sounding off nonstop on the Discord server. I would be posting suggestions. I would be upvoting all the other suggestions. This is not okay. And if you're in the camp that this was a buff and not a nerf, I don't understand that personally. I'm gonna have another video where I go further into all of this later today, but at the same time, I gotta say, I just don't get it, because ultimately they told you it was one thing and it ended up being something different. And the way that this was handled is just atrocious. So I think that even if you think that this was a buff, we should all be concerned that they felt so okay with making this change after people had already invested at minimum resources, but I think in many cases money as well. And those resources, by the way, do have a very tangible monetary value as well. So we should all be pissed about this. And again, if you thought this was a buff, just wait until the next time that they do this on something that you don't think is a buff. You're going to be pissed as well. So this is something we all should be upset about. We should come together as a community on. Just my opinion. Again, I'll have a video out later where I do kind of talk a little bit more about my feelings about this. That is the long and short of it from my perspective. Moving on over to Arena, I was not able to get into Apex. I didn't really try all that hard, so, you know, there is that. I hate AoE Arena, which is what we ended on last week, but we do currently have anti-air DPS going on right now, and that means we're going to have AoE in the middle of the week. We are going to have single target to close it out. One thing to keep an eye on, we do have about 5 days until the turn of the month, which does mean that these resources at the bottom, this legendary skill crystal, the ancient summons, the legendary summons, will be refreshed starting on June 1st. So keep an eye out for that. Crunch time in GVG. We've got 2 weeks left, meaning 4 matchups left before the end of Season 8. And that means it is time to really buckle down in GVG. I do hope that you've got your big boy pants on, because it is going to be a barn burner. You can see my guild, Celestial Arbiters. We are in the top 10 right now. Of course, Immortal Elite remains supreme at the top of the leaderboard. The Shire pretty solidly in second place right now. Rising Horde, which I do believe is Destin and Sebastian Kane's guild. Nice job, boys. They are sitting at 1363 points in the third spot. Blood Envoy and Dragon Slayers numero uno do round out the top 5. So if you are a guild that is on the bubble, or is close, somewhere in the top 50 or so, let's say, you need your rating to get to somewhere around 1365 or so by the end of next week in order to have a good shot of getting into Overlord, to get your avatar frame, to secure your immortality in Watcher of Realms history, Season 8 history anyway. Can't wait. It's going to be an exciting last couple of weeks. Now, we do have codexes. They are going to be starting tomorrow. So we've got the Hellfire Emperor, the Wasteland Titan, and the Furious Tauren. I'm looking forward to the Furious Tauren. I think I'm going to be able to triple S it this time around. Looks like we will be starting out with the Healer Codex. The Tank Codex is going to be coming up after that, and the Poseidon Codex will be following that. I gotta say, these are 3 of my least favorite codexes in the game, so I'm not super looking forward to this, although with the anniversary on the horizon, it will be nice to be able to collect some Ancient Summons. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. Little Tower of Deception update. You can see I have cleared through level 29 this time around. I have not attempted level 30 or the Hidden Chamber, but you know what? Nobody really has right now, right? Let's take a look here. This is apparently insanely hard, because look at these recommended lineups. There's this dude right here. This Russian dude is the only one who has cleared it. I think he's only done it 1 star. If we look at the rankings here, let's take a look and see. Leaderboard. Yeah. 1 star he's gotten on, or 1 diamond, or whatever this is. Nobody else has been able to clear it. The same goes to level 30. Nobody's been able to touch it. I'm interested to get into it. I think I'm probably not going to be able to do it. I think this might be one that kind of stumps the community a little bit. We'll see. They may need to nerf it, right? How much longer do we have? We got 3 weeks or so left on this. 20 days, 16 hours, so slightly less than 3 weeks. We'll see how this goes. Next up, let's talk about the Awakening shop right here. You can see I bought my stamina potions, I bought my master keys, but let's talk about the soul stones that we got available here. Also talk about the demon soldiers. So Zealous and Constance are the 2 soul stones that are available. Zealous, you should never, ever buy. Nobody should be buying that ever. That is a waste of Awakening coins, but if you have 400 Awakening coins, you probably don't need me telling you that. Constance, I think, is somebody that I personally would not recommend that anybody buy. I love Constance, but just getting the base copy is really all you need from her. Obviously, she does have some good awakenings. I'd say the A2, which bumps up her base attack, as well as the A3, which gives her more attack, when deployed in certain circumstances. Those are the highlights there. So I do think that getting awakenings on constants is important. And if you're desperate, you really feel like you need that awakening, it's going to push you past some bit of content, then, I mean, it might not be the worst one to go for. I just think that there are probably better ones coming out in the future. Demon Soldiers, you can see if you do have extra awakening coins to burn, there are copies of the Bookkeeper Demon Soldier. That is an option. I personally wouldn't recommend it. Bookkeepers are not units that scale especially well, and there's no key skills that you get. With that said, the Fallen Templar is the best physical tank in the game, so I am 100% grabbing that. And I am definitely going to grab the Accelerators, which are a key piece and have been a key piece basically since the beginning. Really, really solid units. Need as many of those as possible. I've got them level 6 right now. I'd like to get them up at least to level 7 to max out their skills. Now, this White Tower Scholar, I'm not so high on. I never used this guy, and I am a little bit concerned as I watch my awakening coins start to decrease a little bit. I have to start thinking maybe I need to be a little more thrifty, a little more thoughtful, a little more circumspect about what I do with these epic awakening coins. And so I think I am going to skip the White Tower Scholar this week. They just never get pulled out. So why would I try to grab more copies of them? It just doesn't make any sense to me. One more thing before I do get to my rewards, and that is CASSIEL right here, who is going to be on a banner presumably on Saturday. I do believe he's going to be alongside Aracha, but we'll have to wait and see. Horrible Lord pairing for what seems to be a good hero. I have not finished my testing on him yet, but I will have a testing video out likely on Wednesday evening, so keep an eye out for that, and I will try to give you some insight into exactly how good he is. I've seen him build as being really incredible in Abyss 1. You know, the problem is that he is an Arbiter and Northerner dual faction unit, and you're not using Northerners in Abyss 1. You don't really want to use Arbiters either because they do true damage. Now, one thing, he does have 2 tile range, so that is nice. His base stats are incredible. I'm looking forward to giving you some more insight on him, so please keep an eye out for that video and keep an eye out for that banner, which should be revealed tomorrow when the event calendar does slide forward one more day. Let's go get some rewards. It's about goddamn time. All right, as always, we are going to start off with our Guild Boss 1 rewards. Let's see what we got from Nightmare 3. Nothing good. Hey, that's the wrong color soulstone. I think it was, you meant it to be gold, right? Yeah? No? Oh, okay. No, you didn't. All right. Well, double purple chest on both of those is not what we were looking for. Let's see. Maybe Abyss 1 is going to be a little bit kinder to us. Not on that one. How about this one? Oh, no. Oh, no, guys. Titanic Ruins. We're going to start off with APOC 1. We want Ancient Summoning Crystals. You know what? Since what seemed like a bad run, I have gotten an Ancient Summon on the first one of these rewards that pops up every single time. 2 from APOC 1. Very okay with that. Very, very okay with that. And on this one, I think I will take the Refining Crystal, which I know might seem silly, but remember, all of the hero exclusive gear that you do get from foraging, almost all of it is non-ancient, meaning you can use refining crystals on them. And because of the quality of the skill rolls on those exclusive pieces does seem to be boosted a little bit, maybe not quite ancient level, but close to ancient level, these refining crystals do actually have a pretty decent shot of getting you a good roll on those. So I like to have a good stock of them, although I never really get anything from my foraging anyways. So it doesn't really seem to matter all that much for your boy. I'm waiting for RNG to kind of balance out, equalize on that. APOC 2, let's see what we got here. I'd love to start out with an Ancient Summon there. There's 3. Oh, baby, 4. That's 6 total Ancient Summons from my 2 chests. That's a great week. That's a great week. Got a few more of these Rare Summoning Crystals as well. 5 between those 2 chests, it looks like. This is a good week. So the way I look at this, these Gleaming Meteorites, 40 of them is 1 forage, right? So it's essentially 1/5 of an exclusive artifact because you have a 20% chance to get an exclusive artifact, but it's a random one. There's no way to direct it, period. So it's not anywhere near as good as, say, a Mythic Artifact Essence Shard. These Advanced Shards, pretty solid, so I am going to take those, I think. That is going to help me reroll something else, hopefully a nice item in the future. All right, Void Rift rewards here. Let's take a look and see what we got. Click that claim button. Give me a Legendary Skill Crystal, please. No. A bunch of garbage, it looks like. Oh, we got here 13 of these bad boys. Let's do a 10 pull to start. Do 3 singles after that. Come on, baby. Give me something good. Oh! That is level 25 Lady Alexandra. 3 more. Let's see, maybe we can get something else good. That would be great. Luck of Taya. Not lucky. This is the weirdest trinket in the world, or artifact, excuse me, in the world. It only functions in XP raid. only in XP raid, a place where nobody really needs a buff at endgame, but, you know, it is what it is. I guess interesting thought, but never really. Hey, there's a Dreamglow repository for the Somia hero I do not have, unfortunately. I do have a number of those, but hey, it's an exclusive. I'm sure at some point I will pull him. And an Amulet of Arteries, something that seems like it should be Selene's exclusive, but it is not. It is not. So in any case, guys, I'm going to close out on this event calendar screen and just reiterate, I don't think anybody should be spending right now. I will have a should you summon later in the week, but I can tell you right now that I've got a really bad taste in my mouth after what happened with Vorn, and I think everybody should too, regardless of what side of the fence you did fall on. You know, Wukong is coming. He's great. Grab your copy. You know, use your 200 summons. I just would, if at all possible, not spend in order to do it. How can you count on the developers acting responsibly when they do screw up? Because make no mistakes about it, guys, they screwed up this past weekend, and they are not taking culpability. They're putting a spin on what happened, and I just think it is abysmal. It is a terrible way to treat the player base. I'm annoyed by it, and it's not the first time with this company, who, I gotta say, does seem to be resembling Polarium, the company that does produce Raid Shadow Legends, more and more as time does go on, and that is just really disappointing to see. That is a company that is just morally bankrupt and just tries to take advantage of their player base over and over again. And I am somebody, along with many others, who have touted how Moonton is not like them for a long time, but it's becoming harder and harder to tell the difference. You really got to squint to see it at this point. So in any case, y'all, appreciate y'all tuning in. Please do click that thumbs up button. Please do subscribe if you do enjoy my content. I will catch you all next time.